ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, March 26th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Happy opening day to all that celebrate. We had baseball earlier here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and it did not go well for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Right off the bat, in the hole, the Mets ultimately win the game 11-7. Paul Swann had to be pulled. He takes the loss in this one. It was not pretty. 5 runs, 3 hits. He did not put himself in a good spot early in that contest. So the Mets ultimately prevail. 11 runs, 11 hits. The Pirates had 10 hits, 7 runs. Back at it Friday. And, of course, after the conclusion of March Madness, we're going to have Pirates baseball all season long right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Since it is opening day, let's get you caught up in all the action from the scoreboard early. Top of the 5th, the Cincinnati Reds and the Boston Red Sox. No score there. End of the 8th, and it's the Brewers all over the White Sox 14-1. Top of the 9th, the Nationals are beating the Cubs 8-4. End of 7, the Orioles are leading the Twins 2-0. Top of the 4th, it is the Angels and Astros. No score there. Top of the 4th as well, the Tigers getting the better of the Padres early, 6-0 there. And mid-4th, it's the Phillies 2, Rangers 0. And then top of the 4th, the Rays and Cardinals going at it. Cardinals leading that one 1-0. Later tonight, it'll be the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, and then it'll be the Guardians and the Mariners. That's going to be a 10 p.m. first pitch on MLB TV. The Diamondbacks-Dodgers game is going to be on NBC Peacock, and, of course, the Pirates game was on NBC Peacock earlier. What did you think of that? Early impressions? I had it on the background, so I really couldn't focus in and watch too much of what was happening. I was listening to it on the radio, obviously, but I was in and out, following along best I could, and it didn't look bad. I couldn't see anything that really made me go, ooh, that didn't look good. You know how you just watch something and really see real quick, like, oh, that doesn't look good, that isn't well produced. Of course, the game on Netflix yesterday, I heard a lot of positive. I heard a lot of negative. So if you watched Netflix for your baseball last night, what were your early impressions there? And to be fair, I didn't watch it, so I'm going to have to depend on you on that one. I have watched some of the Apple TV stuff before, and I thought that was good. But here we are. That's what baseball has become. We don't have like a true place, a true hub just to watch it all one place, or where we can watch it. Of course, games on Apple TV. We've got Netflix. We've got Baseball Now, NBC Peacock, all over the place. Television packages are kind of adjusting as we speak. Of course, some of the teams in baseball do not have regional sports channels, so some games are being produced from Major League Baseball. It's all over the place right now as far as this television package is concerned, of course. I found out earlier today that those of you that are Reds fans, the Reds are going to have there's going to be a channel on DirecTV. So if you haven't found that yet, there is actually streaming on DirecTV, or at least you can watch it on your satellite box. So that solves that problem. Of course, I've seen the ads for $99 a year, and you get to watch all the games. I don't know what the blackout restrictions look like. I haven't investigated too much, but you can get the streaming package, and for a lot of people, that's just what they want. They want to hear, I'll pay $99. I want to watch all the games of my team. I'm sort of doing that now with the Center Ice package on DirecTV. Of course, I get the ESPN Unlimited package through DirecTV, so I've kind of got the bonus of being able to stream a lot of games when I'm not at the house, and it works for me. For baseball, though, it seems a little bit more fragmented. just looking at it. It's a little bit more all over the place. I've really enjoyed just having one central location. I get home, I want to watch a game, I turn on DirecTV, center ice package. I got pretty much everything. I don't have any blackouts to worry about. I'm not sitting there going, oh, okay, you're playing in Columbus tonight, so I got to flip over to the Columbus Blue Jackets station because there's a black. No, I get the games. And so, that's a little bit better. Actually, the center ice package is better than the ESPN package. I can actually watch the games, the feeds I want to. Not so much on the streaming. I don't think it works as well, but still much better than what I've seen so far early on with Major League Baseball. The stuff on Peacock today, NBC, looked okay. It looked all right. So if you got a chance to watch that game, what'd you think? If you watched the game on Netflix last night, what'd you think of that presentation? We'll get your text in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It is opening day for those of you, again, that celebrate. We'll run down the scores when we continue. Keep you updated on all the action on this first full day of baseball here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor, call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Tax season just got a lot more exciting at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund headquarters. Right now at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund can put you behind the wheel of a reliable car, truck, or SUV that you'll love. And with the Hometown Advantage, you'll get free oil changes for life on qualified vehicles and a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on qualified pre-owned vehicles. That's confidence, that's value, and that's peace of mind. Drive home happy at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund headquarters. Hurry in today or shop online at yourhometownchevy.com.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Ohio University Symphony Orchestra, the flagship orchestra of Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, performing a free concert Sunday, March 29th, 3 p.m. at the Ironton High School Auditorium. The orchestra directed by Dr. Jose Rocha.
This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Davis & Sons, your place for American-made attachments for skid steers and excavators. Located in Vinton, Ohio.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? Can you even believe that? I mean, people need marrow, you guys, and we have it. So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek, this cheek. Then go to Gift of Life Marrow Registry. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And in case you're wondering, if you're a match, donating, it's a lot easier than you think. So wherever you are, go ahead and swab that cheek. Go to giftoflife.org and get a free kit sent to your home, or find a donor drive in your area so that you can swab a cheek and save a life. It's only a minute of your time, but it can give someone else the rest of their life.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue with this Thursday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is open at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is sort of one of those holidays. Baseball opening day. A lot of people celebrate and take road trips if they've got opening day tickets, pilgrimages. Of course, through here, we've got so many choices to destinations. The Pirates getting beat earlier by the Mets, and then they're going to travel to Cincinnati after that series is over. The Reds are in action right now, mid-fifth, and it's still scoreless between the Reds and the Red Sox. We'll keep an eye on that one as well as the rest of the lineup. We got a couple of finals. The Brewers with the win over the White Sox 14-2, and the Nationals unload on the Cubs and get the 10-4 victory. That's an interesting score offhand. I'm more impressed with the Brewers 14-2 victory over the White Sox. That's big. So we'll get your text in just a moment. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got a busy weekend coming up. Tomorrow, it's going to be the third round, the WNIT. Marshall is going to be at Youngstown State. That's a 6:30 p.m. tip. Now, we already know what's going to happen next. Depending on the outcome, Marshall could either travel or host Army. Army beat LaSalle last night, so if the Thundering Herd would beat Youngstown State, there's a chance it could be Marshall on the road against Army. It could be Army coming to Huntington. Interesting what could happen. So we got to see first if the Herd can get past Youngstown State. Should be a challenging one, but still, I like the Herd's chances, and that's coming up tomorrow. I'm a little disappointed, though. That game could have been a home game at the Henderson Center. I don't know what that process honestly looks like. I know the attendance numbers weren't that far off between the two. I think Youngstown had a little bit more in attendance. So if it's based off attendance, possibility that's what maybe tipped it over for Youngstown State, or is it based off of, okay, this is what it's going to cost to host another round? I get the whole pay to play. You got to pay a little bit to get into these tournaments. I'm all understanding of that, but I'd really like to know what the process is. What determines who gets the home game? I think that would be more interesting. Like, okay, I see what the path looks like here, because in tournaments like this, it's all venue dependent. It's not we're going to be at one central location or one neutral location. We're going to be at your place, or you're going to go on the road. I would like to, in the future, have a better understanding of, okay, if this happens, then this. If Marshall wins and Youngstown wins, we know where the next game's going to be before it's played. And, of course, WNIT put that stuff out. But I would like to know, like, okay, if Marshall would win and Youngstown would win, then it automatically goes here. Which is the higher seed? Does it go higher seed? Is it going to go based on attendance? How's that going to play out? So it should be just a little bit more transparent. Doesn't matter. The Herd's on the road, has to get past Youngstown State before we can talk about anything else. And that's coming up tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting one. And then, of course, NCAA tournament for the women in the Sweet 16 is going to feature Kentucky versus Texas. That's going to be Saturday at 3 o'clock for all of you Kentucky Wildcat fans, Bill Cornwell included, rooting on the only team left from the Bluegrass State named Kentucky in postseason play. We've got tournament action coming up tonight. The South Region in Houston, Iowa versus Nebraska, 7:30 p.m. It'll be Houston versus Illinois at 10. West Region in San Jose is going to be Texas versus Purdue at 7:10. And in Arkansas versus Arizona, 9:45. Now, if you haven't listened to any of our Westwood One NCAA broadcasts before, it's round the country. So we'll start with what's happening Texas, Purdue, jump over to Iowa, Nebraska, take you to where the action's at, and then pick up Arkansas and Arizona at 9:45, then pick up Houston, Illinois. It's going to go where the action is. So if one game is leaning towards a blowout and the other game's more competitive, you're going to get more of that. So wherever you're at, if you can't follow along or you just want to listen to all the action and not have to worry about changing channels, we got you covered right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, if you're a fan of the Ice tonight at 7 o'clock, it's going to be Columbus taking on Montreal. So there's a lot of things happening, and we also have a football schedule for the Ohio University Bobcats. We'll talk a little bit about that for our Bobcat friends, and we'll get your text in. Again, that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's the number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, I've got an interesting question from the text line. You know what? Let's hit this one first before we take the break. Question is, I know this is a question you get a lot. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? I'm going to say no because he broke a rule and committed the cardinal sin by gambling on the game. Appreciate the thoughts. I'm going to say yes, he should be in the Hall of Fame, and I'll explain it when I continue on today's edition of The Drive.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Dad! Come on! Over here! Look at this, Dad! Over!
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree
It's huge!
is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go, like hiking, biking, fishing, or camping. Or do your own thing when you get there with family and friends. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue with this Thursday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It is opening day, so a lot of baseball to get you caught up with. We start with the Red Sox and the Reds, top of the sixth, no score there. Let's run down a few scores as some things have changed. The Orioles and the Twins are in the top of the ninth, and the Orioles have a 2-1 lead there. End of the fourth, Astros and the Angels, no score. Middle of the fifth, Tigers lead the Padres 8-0. Bottom of the fifth, it's the Phillies 2, the Rangers 0. Top of the fifth, Cardinals and Rays tied up at 1 apiece. And earlier today here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, it was the Mets beating the Pirates 11-7. Paul Skeens had to be pulled. It was shaky. He did not get off to a good start for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's go to the text line. That's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Now, I'm curious about what your thoughts are going to be. If you were with us in the last segment, we get a text asking, should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Of course, it's opening day, so yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's entertain it. Text said no because he broke a rule and committed the cardinal sin by gambling on the game. I say he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's a museum to me. And you put someone like Pete Rose in based on his performance, his accomplishments, but you don't sugarcoat it. I would give the complete story of Pete Rose. I would have Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, and I would have complete detail of his career. Everything, good and bad. Now, there are going to be some that argue that, hey, look, Paul, he's done a lot of things, and those things are represented in the Hall of Fame. He has artifacts in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose is not completely out of the Hall of Fame. His accomplishments, some of those are there. Some of his artifacts are there. And I think a lot of people are leaning toward, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself, but I feel like there's a lot of support for Pete Rose getting into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he has the all-time hits record. He's a 17-time All-Star. He should get in. And I believe that eventually he will. And thankfully, the commissioner paved the way. Rob Manfred removed the ban. Now, just not for him, for all players that are banned, because once an individual passes, you can't punish him anymore. You can't punish someone. Now, once they pass, the punishment has been served. He never got to see himself in the Hall of Fame. He died at 83. Never did he get a true chance to be in the Hall of Fame. And so he, I think, should get in. There are some other players that are on that list. Shoeless Joe Jackson. He should be eligible, and he is now. And he should get in. There's a lot of people that should get in, but it depends on what you think the Hall of Fame is. I think it's a place where we go support the game of baseball, celebrate the game of baseball. There are a lot of artifacts there. There should be a history, and I think Pete Rose, good and bad, is part of that history. And the gambling, we live in an age now where I can download an app on my phone, and as long as I'm in a state that basically has supports gambling, if I'm in the right place, I can bet. I watch television to sort of relax, unwind, and I'll get a sports game on and go, okay, hey, I'm going to sit back and watch this. And I'm bombarded with ads, not just regular advertising, with gambling. It's all over the place. So the betting apps, the casinos, all of that, it's all over. We can't escape it now. And so we see it. It's part of the fabric of sports. And so Pete Rose, we'll take his word for it, didn't bet against his own team. He just bet on the game of baseball. And yes, it is a cardinal sin. It is a rule. It's the rule. You can't do that. And so Pete paid the ultimate price. He suffered. He lost. He became infamous. He was ostracized. I mean, he was a pariah for some. He didn't get to really enjoy being Pete Rose. And he didn't help himself for a while as well, let's be honest. He could have been a little bit more contrite. He could have been a little bit more, hey, I'm really sorry. You know, I've been bad. And so with the ban lifted, I think he should get in. He should absolutely get in. For some that remember, I mean, we got to go back a ways. We grew up watching Pete Rose play baseball. He was a big part of a lot of our childhoods. I know for some, you might, I've only heard about him. It's a guy that my dad talks about. That's a guy my granddad talks about. Yeah, what's the big deal? You know, who's this guy? I mean, I see arguments all the time, not just about baseball, but other players. Hey, this player, what's the big deal? You know, the players today are better. What's the big deal? So, yeah, I think he should get in. Will he? I don't know. That depends. But if you look at what a Hall of Fame is, and you can go by any definition, the Hall of Fame is an institution that honors. This is the definition. This is the dictionary definition. A Hall of Fame, an institution honoring the achievements of individuals in a particular activity or field. And so, are we honoring Pete Rose, or are we honoring the achievements of that individual in that field? Or do you punish him after his death because he gambled? One of the best baseball players ever. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Should be there. Should be remembered. Shouldn't be just completely disappeared. You ever watch the Ten Commandments? You know, Ramesses says, hey, you know, take his name off all the scrolls and everything. Just completely get rid of Moses' name. Just completely to scrub it. Yeah, Pete Rose is going to have some some things in the Hall of Fame. So he's not completely out of the Hall of Fame, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. And would that lessen the Hall of Fame if Pete Rose was in it? Would you go, oh, this Hall of Fame it's been violated now because Pete Rose is in it? I'm sure we could do a character check on everyone in the Hall of Fame, and we could find something on everyone that people might not like. Absolutely, there could be something everyone that's in the Hall of Fame has done that does just not sit with you. But it comes back to, okay, why was Pete Rose banned from baseball? He broke the rule, and you gambled on the game. And the reason that rule's in place is because we've seen what betting and gambling on the game can do. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll run down what's happening with all the games. We've got a couple more finals to tell you about. It is opening day. Again, have a wonderful day for those of you that celebrate with all the baseball that we've got coming for the next several months. And it gets started today. And, of course, you can hear baseball all season long with the Pirates right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Menards has all the tools and fasteners you need to finish your home improvement project. Whether you need standard nails for general construction or specialty nails for specific applications, you'll find them here. New fast collated nails are made in the USA with the highest quality steel. Check out our entire selection of new fast collated nails and view our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
It's madness at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Pizza madness. During the NCAA tournament games, buy any regular pizza and get a free side of boneless wings. And you can wash it all down with $2 domestic pints. Catch all the action, all the upsets, all the buzzer beaters, and all the pizza and boneless wings at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Pizza, boneless wings, hoops, and ice cold beer. Now that's a championship combo. Pizza madness at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Mornings move fast. You got goals to chase and no time to slow down. At Smoothie King, every blend is made to fuel your purpose. Packed with real fruit, no syrups, and the nutrition your body deserves. From Daily Warrior to the Gladiator Protein, we've got the power you need to own your day. Grab a smoothie that works as hard as you do. Smoothie King of Huntington, right behind the Joan. Rule the day. Smoothie King.
Tax season just got a lot more exciting at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund headquarters. Right now at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund can put you behind the wheel of a reliable car, truck, or SUV that you'll love. And with the Hometown Advantage, you'll get free oil changes for life on qualified vehicles and a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on qualified pre-owned vehicles. That's confidence, that's value, and that's peace of mind. Drive home happy at Hometown Chevrolet, your tax refund headquarters. Hurry in today or shop online at yourhometownchevy.com.
Here's another Kinder Communications community chatter. Marshall University's Institute for Cybersecurity opening registration for CyberCon 2026, an annual 3-day cybersecurity conference, March 25th through 27th at the Doubletree by Hilton in Huntington. To register or learn more about the conference, visit marshall.edu/cyber-cybercon. This Kinder Communications community chatter brought to you by Ohio Valley Bank, dedicated to giving you the financial answers you deserve. Ohio Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Smile.
Smile, buddy.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy. You know how boys are.
Or maybe he's teething. Oh, poor baby. I think his gums hurt.
Maybe he's just tired.
Or maybe his tummy hurts. He didn't eat that much.
Maybe he's not ticklish.
You think maybe he's scared of the dog?
Maybe he'll outgrow it. Maybe it's a phase. Maybe he just doesn't like smiling.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs or see a doctor today for an autism screening. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better. And it can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
How was your day? What did you do in school? I'm Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association, and these 2 simple questions can encourage learning in your home. Showing interest and asking about the school day can help motivate your children and keep them excited about learning. So stay involved, stay curious, and ask specific questions. Student success involves the whole family.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's our final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. It's our final show of the week. I can't be with us tomorrow. I can't be with you. I'm going to be on the road tomorrow. I will be back with you on Monday. I've got some exciting things to tell you on Monday, but I can't be with you tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be it's good for me. I'll tell you about it on Monday. That's all I can say. But until then, this is our final show. So we will get the text going, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, absolutely, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. His stuff is already in there. He was so much fun to watch 100% every play and was part of one of the best teams ever. Of course, I'm an old Reds fan. Absolutely. Big Reds machine. I loved it as a child growing up. 1990s as well. There was a lot of excitement. And you know what? For all of her faults, Mark shot kept them competitive to a degree. 3 World Series. I mean, not all Marge, but, after Marge hadn't been so hot. Before Marge got out, this was the Reds. They were the Big Red Machine. They were contending. We'll see what happens. I like this one. Texture says, Paul, I know this is off topic, and no offense to baseball fans, but it is WrestleMania season. So who was on your Mount Rushmore of the greatest pro wrestlers? Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. Greatest pro wrestlers. Are we talking of all time, all federations, WWE, WCW? I mean, there's a lot of people that we could talk about here. And Mount Rushmore means 4. So I've got to narrow this down to 4, right? Okay. So Stone Cold Steve Austin has to be on my Mount Rushmore. Austin 316. I mean, he was fantastic as stunning Steve Austin. Of course, he was with Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes. There was a whole era of Steve Austin that maybe is underappreciated. So he's got to be in because once he got to WWFE, he had that whole that gimmick with Ted DiBiase. He got rid of that gimmick, beat the living snot out of Jake the Snake Roberts, and then with Doc Hendricks. Cut that promo about Austin's 316, and then I had the shirt like days later. Absolutely. Steve Austin on the Mount Rushmore. Then I'm going to have to put, this is not alphabetical order or any order, and a lot of people would lean towards Hulk Hogan. A lot of people would lean his way because without Hulkamania, where are we? Hulkamania was real. Loved Hulkamania. Loved Hulk Hogan. Terry Bollea, there were things about him I don't like. Not big fan of some of Terry's antics. Hulk Hogan, though, the character, yes. So he's he might get on the Mount Rushmore, but we got to talk this through. Because while I loved Hulk Hogan, and yes, everybody should say their prayers, eat their vitamins, and train, Macho Man Randy Savage is going on my Mount Rushmore. So that's 2 right there. Hulk Hogan, unfortunately, might be 6 or 7 on my list. But that's not discounting the fact that without Hulk Hogan, a lot of what we have today might not have happened. But I got to put Steve Austin, Macho Man, Randy Savage. See, this next one's tough because greatest pro wrestlers. There's a lot of guys. I mean, do I put Sting? Do you put Sting on the Mount Rushmore? Do you put? I mean, you got Sting here. And again, you can't be just. I mean, you could be Diamond Dallas Page and be like super cool, but I don't know if you're getting on the Mount Rushmore. I don't know if Goldberg gets on the Mount Rushmore. Brock Lesnar, does he get on the Mount Rushmore? I mean, he would destroy almost everybody. But the Mount Rushmore, I think you have to have Ric Flair on the Mount Rushmore. I think you have to. But I'm having a problem with that because where do I put Dusty Rhodes? And again, Dusty Rhodes was the everyman, NWA champion. He was one of the greatest foils for Ric Flair. Those rivalries were epic. Of course, he was part of the 6-man tag team champion with the legendary Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. He also teamed up with Nikita Koloff to form the Superpowers. So I'm going to have to put Dusty Rhodes up there. Steve Austin, Macho Man Randy Savage, Dusty Rhodes. Those would be 3 of my 4. So that 4th slot, that's tough. Because who goes in that 4th slot? And again, this is all subjective. And you're probably going, Dusty Rhodes? Yes, Dusty Rhodes. But then, where do I put a guy like, say, do I go deep in the roster? Do I pull up the old WCW days here? I mean, I personally want to hang out with Arn Anderson. He's not on my Mount Rushmore because he probably doesn't meet that criteria. But I want to personally hang out with Arn Anderson. I personally would have loved to have hung out with Bobby Eaton, the Midnight Express. Those were some of my favorite people. I love to hate the Rock and Roll Express. I love to hate Ricky and Robert. It was just a thing, absolutely. But if you got Stone Cold, you got Macho Man, you got Dusty Rhodes, you got to possibly go Undertaker, maybe. Because Undertaker was the man for the longest, still is the man. For the longest time, it was the Undertaker. And I'm going to have to go, and this could change up tomorrow, but I'm going to have to go with Undertaker possibly being my number 4. And again, I'm not ranking. I'm just, who am I putting on this list here? And I'm going to go Stone Cold. I'm going to go Macho Man. I'm going to go Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Son of a plumber. Hard Time. Look up the Hard Times promo. That's still the greatest wrestling promo of all time, if you will. And then I'm going to have to go Undertaker, possibly. That could change. Texture says, I got Stone Cold. I like it. Undertaker. I like it. I get it. Hulk Hogan. Yep. Shawn Michaels on mine. Hey, Heartbreak Kid. Poor Marty Jannetty. We never heard from him again, it felt like, after he got betrayed by Shawn Michaels. Texture says, Paul, Nature Boy Ric Flair. And Pete should have been in the Hall of Fame a while ago. Absolutely. Isn't Pete Rose in the WWE Hall of Fame? I think he is, right? Has to be. I'm looking this up. Yeah, 2004. 2004, Pete Rose in the WWE Hall of Fame. See, WWE understood the assignment, got it right. So I've left Ric Flair off the list. Texter says, you left The Rock off the list. Yeah, I did. I did leave The Rock off the list. Who do I bump for The Rock? I'm not bumping Stone Cold. Stone Cold he's locked in. I'll chisel it in stone myself. And then the Macho Man, hey, look, to me, Randy Savage was the guy. He was the guy that should have been the guy. He got the raw deal here. He should have been the guy. Then he went to WCW, and he still should have been the guy there. And obviously, Dusty Rhodes, personal. Hey, you know what? Dusty Rhodes is a childhood hero of The Rock. So, I mean, do you take The Undertaker off and put The Rock on? I mean, after all, if we're talking Mount Rushmore, you got 4 spots. Just 4. And I've already put Hulk Hogan on like 5 or 6. So, do you put Rock over The Undertaker? Do you put Rock over Macho Man? Do you put Rock over Dusty Rhodes? Nobody's putting anybody on my list over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Texture says, what about Bret Hart? No. I like Bret Hart, but no. He doesn't qualify for this list. I mean, he was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But no, I don't think Bret Hart gets on my Mount Rushmore. Texture says, what about Nikita Koloff, Magnum TA? What about some of those older guys? I appreciate that. Thanks for dropping those old guys in. Again, if we're going by decades, maybe. We're just personal favorites. Yeah, I mean, I like those guys. But Nikita Koloff, I don't think he didn't really continue. He didn't continue on. He didn't go to WWE, WWF. And you know, again, I left Sting off the list as well. How do you leave Sting off the list? I mean, Sting was WCW for the longest time. NWA, he was that promotion. And I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of guys off the list. I mean, of course, you know, we could talk about managers, could talk about Bobby the Brain Heenan, could talk about Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette, Paul Bearer. We could talk about those guys being managers, valets. Those are some guys. I would have a different wing for them in my Hall of Fame. I would almost prefer like it's a Hall of Fame instead of a Mount Rushmore because I could get more guys in that deserve to be in. But if you're putting me on spot, number one's always going to be Stone Cold. Steve Austin, absolutely. Because he left, and he was one of those wrestlers. Now, his career was cut short because of his injuries. And Owen Hart and that pile driver that really didn't go well, and that really shortened Stone Cold's career. And he's still out there doing stuff. He's just not in the wrestling ring. But the thing about Stone Cold Steve Austin is he's not coming back, and he's not just like dragging it out. I mean, Ric Flair has wrestled how many retirement matches now? I mean, I love Ric Flair, but let's be honest here. Rick, it's time. And then he's doing those Car Shield commercials. And look, again, Rick, I get it. I love you. I know you were wheeling and dealing. You were kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. I get that. And you were living the lifestyle. Probably still is. Still living that lifestyle, right? I can imagine Ric Flair living that lifestyle with the custom-made shoes and the custom-made shirt, custom-made suit. Texter says, honorable mention for Huntington Sergeant Slaughter. He loves Huntington. We love Sergeant Slaughter. Even though the WWE did him wrong. I mean, come on. Sergeant Slaughter turning against his country? No, come on. That was bad writing, Vince. Sergeant Slaughter, never. The real Sergeant Slaughter, not that character that Vince came up with. Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, he was a real American hero. G.I. Joe. How did that work? Hey, here's Sergeant Slaughter. He's a G.I. Joe. Oh, by the way, he's turned his back on America. What? That was fun. We'll do it again next week. I will be with you on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.